Welcome, welcome. It is Friday, and this is Invite God In. Oh, how are you doing on this day? My name is Teemaree. I make transformation easy with products, practices, and coaching, and this right here is my Friday radio show. It's Invite God In. And the whole premise, the whole purpose is for us to get together every Friday and to spend a half an hour enjoying some great music that will uplift us and discussing different things regarding faith, regarding God, and just regarding how we can be closer, how we can feel God's presence, how we can activate faith and just that experience, that oneness with God. So yes, this is the premise, this is the point, and this is the day for us to experience Invite God In. So yes, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? What are you thinking? What's going on for you today? I mean, depending on the day, it could be a multitude of things, right? For one, I'm happy that it's Friday. I'm really looking forward to the weekend. This week has been kind of busy, but in the sense where I felt like I couldn't just settle in and focus on one task. And so I'm looking forward to the weekend to be able to do that and enjoy. How are you feeling? Whatever it is, let's go ahead and just invite God into it. So we're going to kick off with a little prayer, and that's just to bless our time together and to bless this experience for each of us. So thank you so much, God, for being right here with us where we are and for giving us whatever it is we need to experience more of you alive in our lives, our hearts, and our minds. You know what we need and you know how we need to receive it. And so I just thank you for blessing this time that we have together and each and every single person under the sound of my voice. And so it is. Amen. And so I usually spend a little bit more time talking about some stuff, but I just wanted to kind of kick things off with music first. So we're going to get into a song really quickly, but just so you know, this week we're going to be getting into practical ways that we can invite God in. Because there's a lot of practical things that we can do that are not so churchy, if you will. So we're going to talk about a couple of angles, talk about a couple of perspectives that we can have that will help us to invite God in. So that's what this is going to be about, this particular show this week. It's going to be great, and you'll be able to dive in to a lot of different experiences that will help you, that helps us all to invite God in more. Imagine, isn't that wonderful? Today we're talking about practical ways that we can connect with God and that we can invite God in more. And I wanted to play a not church song to illustrate that we can find God, the divine, we can find a desire for connection in songs that may be considered secular, if you will, if the songs that may be considered not spiritual. I thought how interesting when I was listening to that wonderful song, how, imagine God's desire for us, his children, his creations, to really just be closer to him. But at the same time, we have our will. And so, we're just out here and there isn't enough time sometimes, and time goes by. But this week's Invite God In is all about ways that we can connect no matter what and make time and not feel that it has to be church time or looking a certain way. We can find the divine in everything if we have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. So it becomes a very exciting, fun game almost to be able to do that. So one of the practical ways I'd like to share that is really, really good is an app called the Bible app. Now, hear me out here. I know I said practical stuff that don't seem churchy, but here's where it gets very interesting with this particular app. Now, if you wanted to check out the Bible app, number one, it's free. So now you can just get this app for free, and it's in your phone. And they do a lot of really cool things with this app. Yes, it's called the Bible, so it has the Bible in it. But really, it's every translation of the Bible. And that's really cool, because if you're buying a hard copy of the Bible, then you need to know what translation you're looking for. And also too, now it's something that's thicker, that's heavy. It's a book. How can you just access it so quickly? Well, the Bible app takes care of that. Every single translation of the Bible is in this app, at least at my last check. And it's great. This is also great for people that are new to reading the Bible, because you can explore different translations and see how the different levels of ease or modern English that is used, how that helps us to understand verses in a different, new or easier way. And then they have this cool stuff like the daily verse. And yes, Christine, that is a wonderful thing. I'm so glad you like it too. In the studio, I'm able to see a comment here from Christine, who mentioned it, and she's coming from Germany. So welcome, Christine, and thank you so much for, including what you like about the Bible app, because yes, the daily verse is excellent. Essentially every time, every single day, and you can set notifications or not, it's up to you. The Bible app has a daily verse, and it is short and it is sweet. And you can see it in a graphic if you wish, or just in print. Since I've started using the app, it's been a long time, and they've done a number of updates, including making like a little story about it where people share and talk about what they might think about it if you want to go even deeper. It's just great. They also have a way for us to get in community, which I really like. So if you do get the Bible app and want to connect with me, I'm on the Bible app as Teemaree, Teemaree, and then we can get together. And what's cool about that is then we can invite each other. So if you're on the Bible app, you can invite your friends to read with you. And that becomes a great experience. They have plans. They have reading plans, and they are broken down in so many fun ways. You can search plans by an emotion you may want to work through or feel, a goal you may want to reach. You can search Bible plans based on time that you want to spend. So they have 5-day plans, 3-day plans, year-long plans, etc. So it's really wonderful, all these offerings that this one app has. It really is fantastic, and I appreciate it so very much. So that is a first practical way that we can feel closer to God. And what's really cool is that it is very easy. It's in our pocket. It's anytime we need it. And it offers so many things just with that one little offering. Seriously, it's called the Bible app. It is for free. This is not a commercial. I get nothing from them. It's just a great practical tool and a great way for us to feel closer to God anytime, by really getting in and reading the Bible, or by connecting with others that are interested in growing and experiencing more and more of their faith, or by just checking out the daily verse in an easy, cool, visually pleasing way. It's fantastic. So definitely check that out, and it's in the App Store and for whatever device you may have. And I really do believe that you will be pleased at how you can just get into the Word of God more in a very non-overly churchy, pushy way. It's very nice, it's very good, it's very modern, and it really is however you might want to experience it. So with that said, okay, the next kind of segment we're going to get into is things we can watch. Things we can watch to invite God in more. And we're really going to have fun discussing media that we can watch, and it may be unexpected, just like this next song that I'm about to play. But it's because I really want to break down the walls on this, friends. God is the coolest thing ever. Why? Let's see. God created the universe and is the everlasting alpha omega energy of everything. So if we are thinking that God doesn't laugh, joke, have fun, celebrate, understand all the things that we think are separate because we're just used to a very maybe rigid, churchized, religized version of God, then we're missing so much cool stuff. And so we're about to get into that. But first, we're going to play a song, which is another non-churchy song that might get us in the mood to talk about things that we could watch and experience God more. Let's get into it. Woo! Hey, imagine God is like, don't believe me? Just watch. I can seriously imagine God saying that to me when I'm struggling with my faith. And I start to remember things that God has done. And then it's like, yeah, don't believe him? Just watch. Just watch, girl. Just watch. So, again, this is a not churchy song, right? But guess what? Don't believe God? Just watch. And this is the next segment of today's show. We're going to talk about things that we can watch to invite God in, because there is tons of good stuff that really will help us to stoke our faith and feel closer. And what's cool about it is that, again, this is like positive, cool stuff that we could do that doesn't have to feel so rigid or programs or anything. And it's just great. So today we're talking about practical things we can do to invite God in. And we've discussed a little bit about something really wonderful, the Bible app. You can get that for free. And now we're going to switch gears and we're going to say, hey, don't believe God, just watch. It's cool to watch positive, amazing faith media, because what ends up happening is we just marinate in it. So we're entertained and then we're marinating in God's goodness, in what is possible, in faith-based stories, and it's awesome. And it's not always reenactments of the Bible. So if that's what you're thinking it's going to be, it is not. So some of the stuff that I wanted to recommend. Okay. If you know any of these, please comment, please tweet, please send me a message and let me know. One of the things that I have been enjoying lately, it is from the 80s, and it is a series called Highway to Heaven. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Highway to Heaven stars Michael Landon, and it can still be found today. It is series programming, which means, of course, you're going to get little episodic nuggets. And what's cool about this is that this show, because it is in the 80s, it is a different style than what we're used to now, but it's very, very good. And when I say different style, of course, the editing, if you're a type of person that watches in that way and stuff like that, it's a little bit longer, the shots and things like that, but the stories remain so heartfelt, wonderful, positive, and it's great because it's an episodic series that we can all watch and just get a little bit of goodness. There's also a series called Touched by an Angel. Has anyone heard of this one? Touched by an Angel is from the 90s. And one of the women, her name is Roma Downey. She actually went on to marry a gentleman that now they both produce lots of faith content, and they're actually really big in that space. But this series, again, it's a little bit more modern than Highway to Heaven because it was produced and airing in the 90s, but it's episodic nuggets of stories where faith comes into question. It is positively based and it's wonderful. And so when we watch shows like this, what's cool is that, again, we're entertained in a different way. Our drama buttons are not getting pushed. It's also calling us out to maybe believe how or see ourselves and basically recognize God and faith and blessing and favor in new human ways. Slightly different than when we're in the Bible trying to understand these ancient stories. So I definitely offer that up. Yes, Tony, I see you from the studio. Both are great shows, and it is wonderful to just dive in and watch these things because they are really, really cool. And so, okay, let's go even further down the timeline, closer to present day. If you have ever watched this movie, let me know. It is called Interview with God. That is a movie from 2018. And this is a feature film, so about a couple hours, maybe, give or take a few minutes. And it says it in the title. It's about someone who is interviewing God. The twist, both people are alive. Or are they? It's really cool. This movie is an interesting take on how God may be talking to us, reaching out to us, and how we struggle with receiving those messages. It's told in a really great way. There's also this wonderful movie starring George Lopez that was produced and aired in 2021. And this movie is called Walking with Herb. It's a great, great movie. It's really casual, really fun. It's really funny. And it's a way, again, for us to watch faith-based, positive things about God and our potential relationship with God in a way where it is not feeling so churchy. So to give you an example, I love church. I read the Bible daily. I'm not saying that to brag in any way or make myself sound cooler than I am. I'm just letting you know a little bit about what's going on for me. And even for me, I don't want to see how many sermons can I see, and I like sermons, I love when I get to watch different content that is still in that same vein, but in a new way, because then it allows me to still feel close and to get this material and to have those positive emotions, my faith, recognizing blessings, seeing God stoked in a new way. The name of the second movie is Walking with Herb, Herb. And finally, before we go into kind of a little bit more information, I have to talk about comedy. This is kind of an older comedy special, but it'll open up to new things and comics who do stuff like this. And it's called Thou Shalt Laugh. Oh my gosh. As soon as I got turned on to Christian comedy or clean comedy, faith-based comedy, this stuff is great. It's really cool because it's clean jokes, but it's funny. It's really cool. So, we can get closer with God by checking out things like this. It's fun, it's practical, and it's a new twist on how we can stoke those fires of faith and goodness. Today, we're talking about practical ways that we can invite God in. And, based on how I'm looking here on time, I could play another song, which I wanted to do, but quite frankly, I just got to give you everything that I can. And I wanted to cover some books that I've recently read. So we're going to forgo the third song. I like to usually play 3 songs, but I really want to give you everything I can because it's been so cool to just invite God in these new ways. So, when we're talking about reads, when we're talking about books that are not the Bible, but that could, again, stoke those faith fires, if you will, and let us see God and our potential to be closer with God in a new way, I have to mention Funny How Life Works by Michael Jr. Michael Jr. is an incredible comedian. And so you're going to read this book and you're going to laugh. You're going to enjoy his conversational tone. And then you're going to be opened up in a new way about how we can be closer with God and how we can activate our faith and align with our faith-filled purpose in a new way. That book is called Funny How Life Works, and it is by Michael Jr. And I also want to talk to you about this book. I just literally finished it 2 nights ago. And it's by a gentleman called Bob Goff. Bob Goff. And it's called Love Does. Love Does is a phenomenal book about essentially that. It's short stories, all of them extraordinary, showing us how we can activate our Jesus qualities, how we can be more like Jesus because love does. It's good stuff, friends. Good stuff. These are practical ways that we can invite God in, and they are available to us any place, anytime. If you'd like to make a contribution to the show, please do make a donation. That's welcome. It helps me continue this and gets paid forward as well. This is Invite God In, talks to usher in God's presence. Today we were talking about practical ways we can do that. And, next week it might be scripture, testimony, or more practical stuff. I personally felt this was super, super fun. You let me know. You can connect with me anytime on my website, teemaree.com, teemaree.com, to see the additional things that I have that can be of service to you and make transformation easy, or to get short, quick bits that can stoke your faith through my Allswell Lifestyle Church page. Okay, friends, it's been wonderful. I appreciate you so very much. It's time to go, but I definitely want to speak this blessing over you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you, and may He give you His peace. You are blessed and you are a blessing. You're so loved. I cannot wait to connect with you again. Until then, invite God in every way you can. All right, friends. Bye.